Hey everybody. So today I want to take some time to go over some of the comments that were left and after on our videos, answer a few questions, and provide some more context for things I was talking about. So I do all of these things on the fly, so I miss details sometimes, and I really appreciate some of the comments that we've been getting. So one that's been recurring a bit is what zone are we? And also what zone plants am I talking about? So we are in zone 6. We're just west of Reading, Pennsylvania. And it's like 40 degree, we're at the 40th parallel, a little bit above, north of the 40th parallel. So I'd still say we're firmly zone 6. There's been a little bit of um, kind of remapping of the climate zones, but the duration of our winter is still zone 6. We're creeping up to zone 7 if you believe the new maps, but I'd still say we're definitely we'll get down to single digits every winter time, and also have a longer winter than more like a zone 7. So yeah, we're in that kind of nice spot where we get all 4 seasons and generally have pretty good weather for gardening. So, yeah, I think there were some comments from viewers from zone 8 and zone 10. So your climate is vastly different than ours. A lot of what we talk about will probably not do so well for you guys, but yeah, if you're anywhere in the Northeast, the plants we feature will do really well for you. I try and stay pretty hard with plants that are definitely do well. I don't like to push the limits too far. We don't like getting returns on product that didn't work because it froze out. So I try and stay safe, but try and keep it interesting too. So there's plenty of really cool plants that do well in our area. So what zone are the plants we talk about? That's going to be a little harder because, and I'll do my best to mention the zones when we're talking about things. But keep in mind, whatever I'm talking about, whatever plant we're featuring, you can figure it'll do pretty well in zone 6. So, yeah, where I can, I'll mention the zones of the plants. But like I said, I do these on the fly, and whatever's in my head comes out. So don't know. I miss things a lot. One of the best comments was, "I've got to stop saying so much," and it's been really funny to hear myself speak, and I realize how often I say So I've also said a bunch of times, and so far in the last 2 minutes here. So that's something I've been working at. But thanks for that tip. We've got a lot of comments on the hydrangea video. So why won't my hydrangea bloom? That's a very popular comment, recurring comment in retail. So there's a lot of reasons, a lot of factors that affect bloom performance. So there were a couple that I had forgotten to mention when I was talking about that. One of the big ones I noticed here is moisture. I have one in my front garden, and that gets very dry. So it's directly under an oak tree, and we've had some fairly dry summers here the last couple years. This in here especially, we've went weeks without rain, and things have really dried out. And this year we had just enough rain early on; it was almost ready to bloom. And it flowered a tiny bit, just enough to see the design of the flower. It's very pretty. I don't know what the variety is, but after about a week after the first flowers opened up, it definitely, the drought went on and the buds went away. So I lost all the flowers on that one this year. And it's one of those plants that I almost forget blooms because I rarely see flowers on it because it gets too dry. So if I took the time to water it, that would probably fix that problem there. So moisture level has a lot to do with it. And then they also want a good amount, like their hydrangeas will grow, they will survive in almost any kind of soil, But if you have something that's got, I would say like good drainage, and what I mean by that is you want to have the right balance of organic matter, and like a sandy kind of shale soil can work too. But you want to have some air spaces. So that's part of where you can amend with things like pine bark or peat moss and possibly vermiculite, although that's going to settle on down. Vermiculite will smash down to nothing. But you want to have some air space in your soil, and then plenty of moisture. So I've seen some beautiful ones in southern New Jersey. So that would be like a really sandy ground that's well draining, but also has good moisture, and especially like seaside conditions where they have a lot of atmospheric moisture and again, good drainage. So sandy ground, they'll do very, very well there. So not every spot can grow them, and yeah, it's also, I've noticed over the years that a plant typically takes about 2-3 years to get established before you really start seeing some blooms. So over here by my patio, I have a Blushing Bride hydrangea I planted a couple years ago, and it's been there, I want to say, about 2 years. This year, it really seemed to latch in, and it's got a good amount of blooms, but that took some time. Winter protection is another thing that you'll want to focus on, and if you really want to do a good job, consider at least wrapping it up a little bit in the wintertime, especially late winter. That can keep your buds preserved. And then a soil test. So ideally, you want to be just a little bit acidic. So a pH of 7 is neutral, and with the pH of 5.5 to 6, you ought to have some nice blue flowers. Above 7, they'll be pink, and you'll have to test your soil for that. So there's a number of ways to approach hydrangeas like this here, the Hydrangea macrophylla, to get them to bloom. You can wing it and just plant them and see what happens, or you can really do a deep dive into the science and try and figure it all out. So that'll be there's a number of ways you can approach it, but I've most of the time, all the time, just plant it. If it works, it works. If not, hey, just try something new and move on. So they're a bit finicky. I was just thinking also, I've got a beautiful wisteria here on my arbor, and that's another one that can be a little tricky to get to flower, and that comes into pruning. So I prune this back in midwinter, and just leave like 2 or 3 buds on the off the main branch. So that's something we'll probably hit up over winter time, and I'll show you guys how I prune my wisteria. And I've been very, very successful with flowers on the wisteria. So that's a really fun thing when you try something and it works out, and everything works according to the instructions. So that's all for today. Keep the comments coming. I really, really enjoy interacting with people who are watching. If you have questions about anything I talk about, feel free to put that on there, and I'll either reply, I try and reply right away, or else we'll give some more commentary in a video at some point. So thanks again, and we'll see you guys around next time. Hey guys, thanks for watching. To see more of our videos, don't forget to like and subscribe, and click the notification bell so you can see when new videos get uploaded. And we'll see you again soon.